What's the deal? What's the deal? What's the deal, Viral Gang? I'm back at y'all with another one. Shout out all the official VwP members out there, man. If this your first time viewing, go ahead and hit that subscribe button. Become an official VwP member. Tell a friend to tell a friend. Leave a like, leave a comment. Tell us what you like. Tell us what you don't like, man. We appreciate each and every one of y'all because y'all got us going crazy. Man, there's a lot going on in these YouTube streets, and we got to get into it. And this is a topic we steered away from. I really didn't even want to speak on this topic at all, but a lot of the viewers wanted to know my take on it. So, you know, I'm here for y'all. So if it's something that y'all want us to speak about, we gonna speak about it. You feel me? Because why do this at all if you're not gonna appease your viewers? So Spider Loc and Munchie B, they got the YouTube streets going crazy right now. And a little while back, Munchie B sat down with Brick Baby. They did a podcast on No Jumper, right? So VwP&x didn't like that. VwP&x basically was saying you shouldn't sit down and do no podcast with your ops. It's a bad idea. Your ops is always gonna try to throw shade on you regardless. They're gonna take their gang side regardless of the facts. Just they gonna do everything in their power to make their gang look good and your gang look bad. So he was like, you shouldn't do that because when you get on the platforms, you represent your neighborhoods. And he got a point from a street aspect, but from a grown man aspect and from a black man aspect of trying to push the culture forward and stop the whole black on black shit that's been killing us off. You should do things like that. But Spider Loc and Munchie B, they whole drama is making a lot of people look at it like, well, shit, maybe you shouldn't. And maybe VwP&x's got a point. Now, if you know anything, Spider Loc, he got into it with shit damn near every single person he ever was cool with in the media. You go all the way back from the Death Row days to today. He done pretty much fell out with everybody he was once cool with. The latest being Munchie B. Now, Spider Loc got into it with Brick Baby. They had a podcast where Spider was up there drunk. He was just up there going crazy, interrupting everybody. He giving old boy, I think he was from Trouble Gangsters, he giving them the end fingers. So they like, hey man, what is you doing? Like you doing the most, like relax. He's rolling up papers on live and he was going crazy. And Brick Baby came out and said, you know, he's a bad podcaster. So they got into it over that. He goes over to Alex Alonso on the Street Gangs channel, him and Munchie B. They start the Bick and Back Seeing Cool podcast or Kicking Cat, Being Bull, whichever, something like that along the lines. They mix the blood and the Crip together, right? They trying to bring it together. So they start that. It start to take off somewhat, and they both got a mutual enemy in Wack 100. So they both on Clubhouse going crazy on Wack 100. They had one funny ass one where I guess they tried to pull up on Wack 2, 3 in the morning. They both faded. You could tell they drunk off pills, probably off all type of other shit. And they on the phone, Wack yelling, where you at? Where you at? Woo, woo. So he done took an alliance with what would normally be an enemy if you a Crip and he's a Blood, maybe not directly to y'all neighborhoods, but just off Blood and Crippin', y'all wouldn't be going against another Blood. You feel me? But they got a mutual enemy. So enemy of my enemy is my friend. Fast forward, they just fall out. Now Spider Loc airing out all Munchie B dirty laundry. He's going back saying, hey, yeah, that whole peanut butter rumor that everybody knows about, the LA County thing when they said Munchie got knocked out and the niggas supposedly put peanut butter in his ass cheeks and all that shit. He been online defending that for about a year now, saying it didn't happen. And you know Spider Loc from Neighborhood, and they said the Neighborhoods did that. So he jumped out there and defended that. Now that they fell out, he's sort of backtracking a little bit and basically confirming that, hey, nah, that shit probably did happen. But the reason I'm bringing this up, because I want to know, is it impossible to do content with your ops? And if it's not impossible, is it a good idea at all? Because when things like this happens, this what happens. Whatever dirty laundry they can gather on you, in the back of their mind, you still an op, and they just keeping that intel in their mental Rolodex. And the second you fall out, every bad thing that they learned about you along the way of y'all being cool, it's gonna get aired out, which is what we're seeing now. But to Spider's defense, he says Munchie B jumped in his daughter's inbox. Now his daughter's grown, but he found out about it while they're doing the show, and some other things that he claims Munchie B backstabbed him on and tried to backdoor him on some other shit. Really tried to backdoor him and fuck his daughter. And this is after telling Spider, man, I'll fuck anything. You know, Munchie blind, so he don't care. He like pussy at this point. But what you think about it, bro? You think sitting down with your ops and trying to do content in today's game where drama sells is a good idea at all? Because it's a lot. It's a lot going on. You know, I keep up with everything because I got to be in the know.
Nah, facts, but nah, I don't think it's a good idea. I don't think it's a good idea because sometimes it does depend on the level, and at the same time, it depends where niggas is at mentally. But I don't think it's a good idea in a sense because if you really trooping or you been there, it's a lot of bloodshed. So it take a lot to really to get over that shit. You still might have something buried in you for the most part of just being around it. Like even when you go, like I say, I always use prison for example because you around your ops in prison. But even when you're around them, you might deal with them, especially us being in a Long Beach car. It's a lot different for other niggas. I don't know. We be around our enemies in prison to an extent, but you still gonna be not as friendly, and you still gonna have a certain sense in your mind or even just in you, like to the point where you have a sense that you still gonna look at them like an op. It's always gonna be looked at it that way.
Right.
It's never gonna be nothing else. Like, yeah, okay, he could be a solid nigga. I could look past a few things, and a lot of that only comes from maybe y'all go through something together, or maybe y'all even fight each other. A lot of niggas then fought ops, and then next thing you know, that brought them closer out of respect, not just bringing you closer as like I grew up with you. It's just a different level of respect as a man. So I don't think it's a good idea because even when it comes to situations with certain words or certain things, you might talk a certain way, and now that spills out. You know what I'm saying?
We saw that happen with the homie DW, where he asked for the N-word from Brick, and Brick from Neighborhood, and that's the way you diss, but this the way niggas talk on a normal. So it's almost like it's just a slip.
Sometimes some certain things, especially if you've been gangbanging since a kid, right. It's like certain things become second nature, and it's hard to just unpack all of that over. If I just meet up with you and we start podcasting together, then it got to be in the intentions of the podcast. What's going on? What's the setting about? You know what I'm saying? So I don't think it's a good idea because a lot of that turns into something different, and every homie ain't gonna look at it the way you looking at it. Your vision might be different. Everybody don't want to be brought together. So you liable to pull up there with a few of your homies. They liable to pull up there with a few of their homies, and it can go left quick.
Nah, especially with the type of content that most people in that lane does, it's gonna be bad because a lot of that topic that they do is discussing like gang type of topics. So it's always gonna get touchy, especially if you are op and then the topic is my homies, and now you giving your opinion on my homies to me. My homies is gonna feel some type of way about that. Like, why are you letting cuz speak about the set like that? Cuz not from the set and your op. So that's always gonna go bad. Now, if y'all on there and y'all got a sports podcast or something to where the politics ain't gonna intertwine, then maybe it could work. But if you're talking any type of street, anything, that's not gonna work because when you get on these cameras and you start to reach success, your mindset starts to change. But this nigga still in the set trooping like you once was, who mindset ain't changed. And there's niggas behind the wall who got to deal with a lot of the shit that you saying in front of the camera. So when word get to them, and now that's causing issues in prison, and then they making calls to the set, and now the set making calls to you like, nah, nigga, you got to get on the camera and say this, this, and this, or it's an issue. And now you got to pick between, damn, keeping this podcast successful or appeasing the homies and having to deal with that when I get off of the camera. And it's just going to be a bad mix if you're talking about the streets on the camera. I think that's the biggest issue is the content that you're talking about. Not only that, then you got the comments. You got niggas jumping in the comments, bringing up old stories, and the niggas dissing your hood, and it's his homies and he ain't checking them, or his homies called in, because I believe Munchie B, no, it's a nigga in the pen, and we talked about this. These niggas in prison doing these podcasts and just talking about all the niggas they knocked out and bringing up rumors and all type of shit. So it's one nigga named Jay Hood from Stevenson Village. He said he 50-0 in fades versus the East Coasters. And Munchie B like, well, shit, I could believe it. Blood was in the county. He said blood was in the county like 8 years. So it's a possibility. And Spider Loc like, nigga, what? Nigga, you got the worst county jail rumor ever. And I dispelled that for a year. One nigga pop up out of nowhere, say he knocked 50 of my homies out, and you automatically like, yeah, that's probably true. So in the back of his mind, oh man, you still on that blood shit. You like, however you can tear down the keyway, you gonna do it. You didn't even try to be like, well, I ain't got no proof, no nothing. It just was automatic. Like, yeah, that's probably facts. So he really was feeling the way about that, especially because it was his set. So that's what I mean by it ain't no way to smooth that over once your hood is involved, because now you emotionally involved with it. So any type of word that make the hood look bad at all, even if it's innocent, is gonna be amplified times a million, because you're gonna have the heat of your whole set on your ass, because you the one representing them in front of the camera. So I just don't think that's ever gonna go the right way, doing that type of content.
Nah, it's not. It's a lot of niggas that people eat off the drama. You know what I'm saying? I try not to judge it too much, but I still try to speak in a sense where I can see things, or you've been through enough things to understand where certain things ain't gonna work. Because regardless of, you have a choice to what energy you choosing to put out. And if you don't understand, or it can sound crazy, they think it's powering your words, it's powering a lot of different things that you don't understand that's moving behind the things you can't see. And what I mean is in the sense that type of energy you choose to put out is eventually going to have to double back in the circle. And it's going to be to a point where somebody going to have to crash something. It's going to be inevitable at that point. So it's just, streets need to just stay in the streets. You can get money with people, but it's just like, at what cost? And the level, like I say, of what it is, because just on some Crip and Blood shit, it's not even like y'all just two keyways. When it's Crips and Bloods, it's still gonna be, I can't say they can't get along, but it's too many words. There's too much stuff that could be easily transpired into something else. And you automatically can think something else, even if it's not that. You're gonna personalize everything that comes out of this person's mouth to a different extent, versus where you relax with your homies, or you're more not on edge about something, or feeling like you disrespected.
Nah, that's facts. And just thinking like, okay, we got the homies here. They gonna be talking how they regularly talk. So 9 times out of 10, they gonna be dissing. And then if you hear, now I gotta get into it with the homies like, hey man, you can't talk like that. And it's just too much having the police shit just to do the content. So if you still actively involved, or you still in touch with your neighborhood, trying to get online with a direct op, I just don't see it, just simply because if you know anything about gangbanging and gangbangers, they're emotionally unstable. Most of them are emotionally immature. They don't have control of their emotions. So the second they get to reading these comments, they're going to get charged up, especially if they having you being a painted out to be a buster. Oh, you heard out cuz, talked over cuz, that nigga marked out. So, niggas gonna go to the next episode, and the second you get to over talking, well now cuz charged up. Hey homie, nigga quit, woo woo. And now you overdoing it for the comments. I'm telling you, I know how this shit go, fool. Like niggas can't handle these comments, nigga. These comments is brutal. Niggas be ready to crash, nigga. I done had niggas calling me, man, niggas in the I'm like, cuz, these is trolls, nigga. Like, niggas ready to, man, hey, you know, cuz, what can we, nigga, this is a random comment, cuz, we can't find the nigga. Like, so,
that should be wild. That should be wild. You know what I mean? I guess they tried, I don't know the depths of that situation, but I guess, you know what I mean, they're trying to move forward in the sense of even able to do content together, to even be in the same room while you out here on the streets and trying to build in that network. But it's an ugly thing, regardless. And it don't even matter if you get to a point where you feel like you not on the level that you was when you was younger. You still gonna have to answer to your homies. Ain't nobody gonna be bigger than the program. So
and that's the key right there, because there's always gonna be one homie who don't see no hope in nothing, and he just gang banging for life, and it's all he got, and he's gonna make an issue where it's not an issue. The whole hood could be like, man, we finna piece it up. He's gonna be the one at the peace treaty to kick it off, because he needs this to keep going, because he needs his rep to live off of. So unless you're ready to crash your own homies like that, which most niggas ain't gonna do, because that's your 5-star generals in the set, you can't just turn on them. They done put all this work in. So even though y'all might want to, man, we ain't on that no more. Like I said, this is all cut, eat, breathe, and shit. And no, he's not giving this up, nigga. He gonna find the issue to keep this shit going. And unfortunately, that's how it go. That's why Nip say everybody can't go. When we go to BET, yeah, Cuz gotta stay in the set. That's my trooper. If I need Cuz gonna come lay down a crowd for me. But I know I can't bring you around this because you don't understand this. And unfortunately, that's how it is. And unless your hoods is not at odds in the street, you getting on the camera and being the one, that's a tough pill to swallow because you got to be built different to handle that. You got to have a different level of intellect to get on the camera week in and week out with your op and keep that shit peaceful.
Yeah, even then though, how many times can you put certain men in the room and something don't eventually happen? That's
facts.
That's why things end up happening. Eventually, you're gonna fight. You're gonna do something.
And these podcasts get heated, nigga. Niggas get in their feelings over these opinions, trust me. But yeah, y'all share, like, subscribe to the channel, man. We trying to keep the clips short and sweet for y'all. We know a lot of people got short attention spans. To the VwP members who like the long content, we got long episodes coming for y'all soon. We just spitting out these rapid fire clips just for the new viewers. You know, people got that TikTok brain out here. So y'all share, like, subscribe to the channel, man. We out here, the VwP. Bang.